You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your educational journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. To understand AI's role in reshaping employment, it helps to look back at earlier technological revolutions. Each wave of innovation, from mechanized looms to electricity to computers, sparked similar fears about mass unemployment. For example, the arrival of automated weaving machines in the 19th century led to protests by textile workers who feared losing their livelihoods. Yet over time, new industries developed, employing workers in roles that had not previously existed, such as machine maintenance and factory organization. The computer revolution displaced typists and clerks, but created opportunities for programmers, network administrators, and digital designers. These historical patterns reveal that disruption is often followed by adaptation, though not always smoothly. What history teaches us is that while technology alters the structure of work, societies that invest in education, training, and social safety nets are better positioned to turn disruption into progress rather than crisis. Jobs at high risk of automation are typically those that involve routine, predictable, and repetitive tasks. Data entry clerks, for instance, face significant displacement as AI systems process information faster and with fewer errors. Routine manufacturing jobs are also vulnerable, as robotic arms assemble products with precision that surpasses human ability. In the service sector, positions such as cashiers are threatened by self-checkout systems, while basic customer service roles are increasingly handled by virtual assistants. Even some white-collar jobs are at risk, such as paralegals performing document review or junior analysts compiling reports. These trends show that automation risk is not limited to low-wage work, it extends into middle-class professions as well. The underlying pattern is clear. Tasks that can be standardized and reduced to rules are the first to be automated, leaving workers in those roles vulnerable to displacement unless they transition to new opportunities. AI should not be viewed solely as a threat to jobs, but also as a powerful tool for augmentation. In this context, augmentation means enhancing human abilities by taking over repetitive or time-consuming elements, leaving people free to focus on strategy, empathy, or innovation. In medicine, for instance, AI assists radiologists by flagging potential anomalies in scans, allowing doctors to focus on interpretation and patient communication. In law, AI reviews thousands of documents in seconds, giving lawyers more time to craft arguments and advise clients. Augmentation illustrates that the most powerful applications of AI are not those that seek to replace humans entirely, but those that enable people to work more effectively. The future of work may be less about human versus machine, and more about collaboration, where each complements the other's strengths. One of the most hopeful aspects of AI's impact on employment is its role in creating entirely new categories of work. The rise of AI has already produced jobs such as data scientists, AI engineers, and machine learning specialists. Beyond technical roles, new positions have emerged in ethics, governance, and compliance, where professionals ensure that AI systems are fair, transparent, and accountable. As industries adopt AI, demand grows for trainers to provide domain-specific data, managers to oversee human-AI workflows, and auditors to monitor bias or errors. These roles did not exist a generation ago, yet they are becoming essential in modern organizations. Just as the Internet created opportunities for web developers, social media managers, and e-commerce strategists, AI will generate its own ecosystem of professions. The challenge lies in ensuring that workers have pathways to transition into these new opportunities. AI is also transforming knowledge work, automating tasks traditionally considered too complex for machines. Journalists, for example, now rely on AI tools to generate drafts of financial reports or sports recaps, freeing them to focus on deeper investigative stories. Researchers use AI to sift through massive amounts of academic literature, identifying trends and relevant studies much faster than humans could manage alone. Analysts in business and government use AI for data visualization and forecasting, turning raw information into actionable insights. While these tools do not eliminate the need for human judgment, they change the nature of knowledge work by shifting the focus from routine data handling to critical interpretation. Knowledge work thus becomes less about memorization and mechanical analysis and more about creativity, synthesis, and decision-making tasks where human strengths remain indispensable. The gig economy has also been reshaped by AI, as platforms increasingly rely on algorithms to match workers with tasks, manage schedules, and monitor performance. Ride-sharing apps, food delivery services, and freelance marketplaces all depend on AI to balance supply and demand dynamically. These systems create flexibility for workers but also introduce concerns about fairness, transparency, and job security. For instance, drivers may find themselves subject to opaque rating systems or unpredictable shifts in pay due to algorithmic adjustments. AI enables gig platforms to scale efficiently, but it also raises questions about whether workers in this economy are treated as partners or as data points managed by unseen systems. The gig economy demonstrates both the empowerment and the precarity AI can bring, offering income opportunities while exposing workers to new forms of algorithmic control. Reskilling has become a central theme in discussions about AI and employment, as workers must adapt to shifting demands. The skills needed in a world shaped by AI differ significantly from those of the past, emphasizing digital literacy, adaptability, and lifelong learning. For example, a factory worker displaced by automation may need training in robotics maintenance or quality assurance. Office employees whose routine tasks are automated may transition to roles in project management or customer relations. Reskilling requires not just technical training but also soft skills like communication and problem-solving, which remain vital in human-centered tasks. Governments, employers, and educational institutions all play roles in enabling reskilling. Without investment in this area, workers risk being left behind, widening inequality. With proper support, however, reskilling can turn technological disruption into an opportunity for reinvention and growth. The education system itself is under pressure to respond to AI-driven labor demands. Traditional models of schooling that emphasize static knowledge may not prepare students for a future where adaptability and creativity are paramount. Curricula must evolve to include digital literacy, critical thinking, and interdisciplinary problem-solving. Programs in coding, data science, and AI ethics are already appearing at universities and even in secondary schools, reflecting the demand for new competencies. Beyond formal education, lifelong learning platforms powered by AI offer personalized training for workers at any stage of their careers. Education systems that embrace flexibility and adaptability will prepare societies to thrive in AI-driven economies. Those that resist change risk producing graduates unprepared for the realities of modern work. Education thus becomes a linchpin in shaping whether AI amplifies prosperity or exacerbates inequality. Geographic shifts in employment reflect how AI adoption varies across regions and economies. Advanced economies with strong technological infrastructure often lead in automation, displacing certain jobs while creating high-skill opportunities in AI development and integration. In contrast, developing economies may face different challenges, as automation threatens labor-intensive industries that have historically provided growth. For example, garment manufacturing in parts of Asia may decline, as AI-enabled factories elsewhere produce goods with fewer workers. At the same time, regions that adapt quickly can leapfrog by building AI-driven industries from the ground up. These geographic dynamics highlight the uneven distribution of AI's benefits and burdens. They also raise questions about global equity, as some societies may flourish in the AI era, while others struggle with displacement and limited opportunities for technological advancement. Productivity gains are one of the most celebrated outcomes of AI, as automation and augmentation increase efficiency across industries. Businesses that adopt AI often see faster processes, reduced errors, and lower costs. For example, logistics companies use AI to optimize routes, reducing fuel consumption and delivery times, while manufacturers deploy predictive maintenance to reduce downtime. These improvements boost economic growth and competitiveness. However, productivity gains do not automatically translate into broad prosperity. If the benefits are concentrated among a few corporations or investors, inequality may widen. The challenge lies in ensuring that productivity improvements contribute to shared growth, such as through reinvestment in worker training, job creation, or community development. Productivity gains from AI hold enormous potential, but realizing their full value requires policies and practices that spread benefits broadly. Worker displacement carries costs beyond lost income, affecting social identity, mental health, and community stability. Employment is more than a paycheck. It provides structure, purpose, and connection. When jobs vanish, individuals may experience stress, depression, or a sense of worthlessness. Communities built around industries, such as towns reliant on factories, can collapse when automation eliminates local employment. These social and psychological costs often outlast the immediate economic shock, creating long-term challenges for societies. Addressing displacement requires holistic support, including mental health services, community revitalization, and programs that help workers transition not only in skills but also in identity. Worker displacement is a reminder that the impact of AI on employment must be measured not only in numbers but in human dignity and resilience. Policy debates about AI and work reflect the urgency of these issues. Proposals range from universal basic income, which provides financial support regardless of employment, to job guarantees that ensure meaningful work opportunities for all. Some advocate for taxes on automation, channeling revenue into retraining programs or social safety nets. Others emphasize partnerships between government, industry, and education to foster innovation while protecting workers. Each proposal reflects different priorities: efficiency, fairness, stability, or innovation. The debates reveal that AI and employment is not simply a technical question but a societal one, demanding collective decisions about how we want economies to function. The outcome of these debates will shape not just jobs, but the future of social contracts between individuals, employers, and states in the AI era. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. AI in manufacturing employment provides one of the clearest illustrations of how automation changes the nature of work. Factories once bustling with assembly line workers are increasingly adopting robotic systems guided by AI, capable of performing repetitive tasks with speed and precision. These shifts reduce the demand for manual labor, but increase the need for technicians who can maintain, program, and oversee machines. For example, a car plant may employ fewer line workers but more engineers skilled in robotics integration. This transition creates challenges for workers displaced from traditional roles, as retraining into technical fields requires both time and resources. Governments and companies that provide structured reskilling programs help workers adapt, but those without support often struggle to re-enter the workforce. Manufacturing highlights the dual reality of AI. It removes some jobs while simultaneously creating new opportunities for those equipped with the skills to manage and enhance automated systems. Healthcare employment tells a more nuanced story, where AI supports professionals rather than displacing them outright. Systems capable of reading medical scans, analyzing lab results, or predicting patient outcomes are powerful tools for clinicians, but they are not substitutes for human care. For instance, radiologists may use AI to highlight anomalies in X-rays, but final interpretation and patient communication remain firmly human tasks. The spread of AI also creates demand for new roles, such as data managers ensuring patient records are processed securely, or ethicists guiding responsible use of sensitive health data. Nurses and doctors may see their administrative burdens reduced by AI-driven scheduling and documentation tools, allowing them to devote more time to direct patient interaction. Healthcare illustrates that AI can expand employment opportunities by creating specialized roles, while enhancing the effectiveness of existing ones, blending technology with the enduring need for human empathy and expertise. Finance provides a sector where AI has rapidly changed employment landscapes, automating functions that once required large teams. Algorithmic trading systems execute transactions at speeds beyond human capacity, reducing the role of floor traders while creating demand for data scientists and quantitative analysts. Customer service in banking is increasingly handled by chatbots capable of addressing routine inquiries, though human staff still manage complex or sensitive cases. Compliance departments rely on AI to scan transactions for suspicious activity, decreasing the volume of manual checks while raising the need for professionals to investigate flagged anomalies. These changes shift the composition of financial employment from clerical and operational roles to analytical, oversight, and client-facing work. For workers, the challenge lies in keeping pace with technical skill requirements, as success increasingly depends on fluency in data and systems rather than mastery of traditional financial processes. Retail employment demonstrates both displacement and transformation as AI reshapes consumer interactions. Self-checkout systems reduce reliance on cashiers, while recommendation engines and online platforms shift demand away from physical stores toward e-commerce. Yet retail also generates new jobs in logistics, data management, and digital marketing as companies adapt to AI-driven consumer engagement. For example, while fewer people may staff checkout counters, more are employed in warehouses fulfilling online orders, or in offices analyzing customer purchasing trends. AI-powered tools help sales associates in physical stores by providing insights into customer preferences, enabling more personalized service. This shows that even in industries vulnerable to automation, human labor evolves rather than disappears entirely. Retail illustrates the complex ripple effects of AI, where direct job losses are balanced by growth in related sectors, but workers must transition across very different types of roles to remain employed. Examples of human-AI collaboration underscore that the future of work is not simply replacement, but partnership. In law, attorneys use AI systems to quickly sift through thousands of legal documents, focusing their energy on argumentation and strategy rather than tedious searches. In journalism, reporters rely on AI to draft financial or sports updates, freeing them to conduct investigative research. Designers use generative AI tools to brainstorm visual ideas while keeping creative control over final outputs. These collaborations highlight how AI can act as an amplifier, extending human capability rather than supplanting it. The key lies in framing AI not as a competitor but as an assistant one that handles repetitive or computationally intense tasks, while humans exercise judgment, creativity, and empathy. Collaboration requires cultural adaptation, where workers learn to trust and guide AI tools while retaining ultimate responsibility for outcomes. Entrepreneurial opportunities driven by AI are rapidly emerging, giving rise to entirely new industries and startups. Entrepreneurs are building services around AI capabilities such as natural language processing, image recognition, and predictive analytics. For instance, small businesses develop specialized chatbots for customer service in niche markets, while others create AI-powered platforms for real estate analysis or personal fitness coaching. The relatively low cost of accessing cloud-based AI tools lowers barriers to entry, enabling more individuals to become innovators. This entrepreneurial boom generates jobs not just for technical experts, but also for marketers, sales teams, and customer support staff in AI-driven ventures. Moreover, the expansion of AI ecosystems encourages cross-disciplinary innovation, blending healthcare, education, finance, and entertainment with intelligent tools. Entrepreneurship illustrates how AI is not only transforming established industries, but also opening new horizons where entirely different kinds of employment can flourish. Labor policy and regulation play a decisive role in shaping how societies absorb AI's impact on employment. Governments can soften the effects of job displacement by funding retraining programs, offering wage subsidies, or incentivizing industries to create new opportunities. Some propose policies such as automation taxes, designed to redistribute the gains of efficiency towards supporting affected workers. Others suggest fostering innovation hubs that create high-skilled jobs while buffering communities against sudden industrial decline. The effectiveness of these policies depends on foresight and adaptability, as governments must balance technological advancement with social stability. Without thoughtful regulation, automation risks deepening inequality and eroding trust in institutions. Labor policy is therefore not peripheral but central, shaping whether AI-driven change becomes a story of shared prosperity or concentrated disruption. Corporate responsibility is equally critical in managing AI's employment effects. Employers adopting AI tools face ethical obligations to support workers through transitions rather than focusing solely on cost savings. Companies can provide retraining programs, offer pathways to new roles, and involve employees in planning automation strategies. For example, a logistics firm introducing AI route optimization might retrain drivers for supervisory or fleet management roles rather than simply cutting staff. Firms that act responsibly gain reputational advantages, strengthening trust with both employees and consumers. Those that prioritize efficiency at the expense of workers risk backlash, strikes, or loss of customer loyalty. Corporate responsibility thus intertwines ethics with strategy, underscoring that adopting AI is not just a technical choice but a human and cultural one, with long-term consequences for business sustainability. Labor unions are beginning to address AI directly in their negotiations, advocating for worker protections in the face of automation. Unions push for provisions that ensure retraining, fair severance, or shared productivity gains when jobs are displaced by machines. For example, in industries such as automotive manufacturing, unions have sought agreements requiring companies to consult workers before introducing new automation systems. Collective bargaining provides workers with a voice in shaping how AI is deployed, ensuring that change is not imposed unilaterally by employers. By engaging with AI proactively, unions help create a more balanced transition, where workers benefit from efficiency gains rather than bearing all the costs. This dynamic illustrates that adaptation to AI is not just about technology, but also about power and negotiation in the labor market. Global perspectives on AI and jobs reveal that challenges and opportunities differ sharply across countries. In advanced economies, automation often threatens middle-income roles but creates demand for highly skilled technical positions. Developing economies, by contrast, may face significant disruption to labor-intensive industries like textiles or call centers, which have historically driven growth. However, these regions may also leapfrog by adopting AI-driven agriculture, healthcare, or mobile finance solutions that address local needs. For instance, AI-enabled crop monitoring may help small farmers in Africa increase yields, creating new forms of employment in agritech. The uneven distribution of benefits and risks raises concerns about global inequality, as countries with stronger education systems and infrastructure adapt more easily. Global perspectives emphasize that while AI is a universal technology, its employment effects are shaped by local economic structures and social policies. Gender and diversity impacts further complicate AI's effect on employment. Studies suggest that women who are overrepresented in administrative and clerical roles face higher risks of displacement from automation. At the same time, the technology sector, where many new AI-related jobs are being created, remains male-dominated, potentially limiting opportunities for women unless deliberate inclusion efforts are made. Minority and marginalized groups may also face disproportionate challenges if reskilling opportunities are not accessible or if biases in hiring algorithms reinforce inequality. Addressing these disparities requires targeted policies and initiatives that ensure equitable access to education, training, and AI-driven opportunities. By considering diversity explicitly, societies can avoid replicating historical inequities in the AI era and instead use technological change as a chance to build more inclusive labor markets. Measuring AI's net impact on employment is challenging because job losses are often immediate and visible, while job creation unfolds more slowly and in less predictable ways. A factory that introduces automation may lay off hundreds of workers overnight, while the jobs created in AI system design, maintenance, or entirely new industries emerge gradually. Economists struggle to quantify these shifts, as traditional employment statistics often lag behind technological change. Moreover, the quality of new jobs matters as much as the quantity. Are they stable, well-paid roles, or precarious gig work? Accurately assessing net impact requires long-term data collection and nuanced analysis, recognizing that employment effects unfold unevenly across sectors, regions, and demographics. Measuring impact is therefore not a one-time calculation, but an ongoing process of tracking, reflection, and adaptation. The long-term employment outlook in the age of AI remains uncertain, with scenarios ranging from widespread unemployment to broad job transformation. Some futurists warn of a world where machines perform most tasks, leaving humans with limited roles and raising questions about economic sustainability. Others argue that new technologies have always created more jobs than they destroyed, predicting a wave of opportunities in fields we cannot yet imagine. The likely reality lies somewhere in between, where AI displaces some roles, augments others, and creates entirely new sectors of employment. The long-term outlook will depend heavily on how societies manage the transition through education, regulation, corporate responsibility, and cultural adaptation. The future is not predetermined but shaped by collective choices about how to balance efficiency, equity, and human purpose in AI-driven economies. Ethical dimensions of AI and work highlight that employment is not only about economic output, but also about dignity, identity, and purpose. Jobs provide structure, community, and meaning in people's lives, and their loss cannot be measured solely in wages. As AI changes work, societies must grapple with questions such as, what does it mean to live in a world where machines perform many of our tasks? How do we ensure that people retain a sense of value and belonging? These questions push beyond economics into philosophy and ethics, demanding that technological progress align with human well-being. Policies, cultural narratives, and institutional choices will shape whether AI strengthens or weakens the dignity of labor. Ethics remind us that the debate over AI and employment is ultimately about human flourishing, not just productivity. The future of human labor with AI is likely to be one of collaboration, where machines handle tasks best suited to computation and repetition, while humans focus on creativity, empathy, and complex judgment. Professions will evolve, blending technical fluency with uniquely human skills. A teacher may use AI tools to tailor lessons but still provide mentorship and inspiration. A doctor may rely on algorithms for diagnosis but remain the central figure in delivering care. Even creative industries will see collaboration, with AI providing drafts, suggestions, or tools that artists refine into original work. The challenge is ensuring that humans remain empowered, with technology serving as a partner rather than a master. The future of labor will depend less on whether jobs vanish and more on whether we shape AI to complement human strengths, creating an economy where dignity and innovation go hand in hand. AI and employment together tell a story of disruption, opportunity, and responsibility. Jobs will be lost in sectors vulnerable to automation, while new roles will emerge in technology, ethics, and industries we cannot yet predict. For many, work will be transformed rather than eliminated, shifting focus from routine to creative, empathetic, or supervisory tasks. The transition will bring challenges, inequality, displacement, and cultural adjustment. But it will also offer potential for new forms of prosperity if societies invest in reskilling, education, and inclusive policies. The central lesson is that AI is not destiny. It is a tool whose impact depends on human choices. Employment in the AI era will reflect how thoughtfully we balance efficiency with fairness, innovation with dignity, and progress with responsibility. The future of work remains open, waiting to be shaped by the values and commitments we bring to the age of intelligent machines. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.